Okay, another long two blank text completion. So we have here narrative, vanquish people, a big name. I don't even want to say that name. Again, you don't want to read difficult names. Just break down all the verbiage. And the first blank we're dealing with here talks about the vanquished managed to do what in this narrative. So a narrative is a story. So what did the vanquished do? Well, first let's start with that word vanquished. Someone is vanquished, they are the ones who have been defeated. So they managed to blank the victor's triumph as the result of some spurious advantage. So next word we need to know is spurious. If something is spurious, it is fake. It's not real in the sense of, well, it wasn't really an advantage. You were interpreting it as some advantage. But the victors, in this case, being truly inferior where it counts. So the actuality is, okay, well, the victors aren't even that good. They kind of got lucky. That is what the losing people or the losing side says. So the vanquished managed to blank the victor's triumph. So they managed to somehow interpret it. That's going to be our own word here. To interpret the victor's triumph, or the victor's triumph as something that was lucky, basically. Okay, so that's going to be our first blank here. Is interpret's our own word, and we have construe. When you construe, you come up with something, you twist it to match your way of thinking, so your interpretation. So that works perfectly here. Anoint. When you anoint something, you decide that it's worthy of something. You say, I will anoint you. You are now something great. So that doesn't, there's no anointing going on here. Acknowledge. Well, they acknowledge perhaps that they are getting triumph, but the idea is here they want to come up with this interpretation that the victors got lucky. And to acknowledge something isn't the same as interpreting it in a certain light, the way that construe is. Then we have the second part. Often the winners blank this interpretation. So notice, interpret, and then interpretation. So you can see that there are some other words here in the paragraph that can help us understand the first blank. But now that we've gotten the first blank, what are the winners doing with this interpretation? Well, worrying about the cultural or moral cost of their triumph, and so giving some credence to the loser's story. So, they're actually backing up, or they're in favor of the vanquished people's story. So what do they do? Well, in this case, they're often the winners are backing up or agreeing with. So that's going to be agreeing with. It's going to be our own word for the second blank. To take issue with is to say, I have a problem here. That's the opposite. And that's, in a way, that's what we would expect, right? Oh, they're the winners. They're not going to go along with the vanquished people's construal of this lucky win. But again, oftentimes GRE is going to come up with a paragraph that goes against your expectations. So in this case, yeah, the winners are actually agreeing. Yeah, losers, you're right. So disregard, another word that does not mean agreeing with. And then finally we have collude. And now it becomes difficult because collude, write this word down here, does not mean to agree with or to be on the same side, but yet that's what's going on here clearly. So what exactly does collude mean, and how is it the definition? Well, to collude is to work together. And it has this connotation of sort of to conspire, to work against it, something that's negative. So you can see that, okay, well, the vanquished people here and the winners, the actual people who did the vanquishing, they're kind of colluding in this narrative that is not necessarily an accurate one, but it's based on the vanquished people construal of these lucky, spurious advantages, and the winners are actually going along with and kind of almost conspiring in this narrative or colluding. So there's our two answers.